Hello, I'm Trent, aka oTradeMark here, and today I'm going to show you guys how to roll for Time Lord or Lucky 3 passives. So step one is that you want to get a lot of raid shards. Okay, people ask me how to get a lot of raid shards. Primarily, you're just going to be doing a lot of time trials. You can also get a lot of time trials through having alt accounts. During a drop event is absolutely insane, because during a drop event, a massive raid can give you 100 to 200 raid shards. And so if you have some alt accounts, 4 or 5 alt accounts, you can literally get like 600, 800, 1,000 raid shards just from one massive raid. It's pretty insane. But for the most part, you can also trade for them. That's a great method. And I would say a lot of these raid shards have actually just come from me during my trade streams. But the point is, you get a lot of raid shards, and then you need to get a mythical fighter or a legendary fighter from the world which you have a lot of raid shards in. So you don't want to really be doing this on any of the high worlds. You want to be doing this on like a low to mid world where it's easier to trade for those shards. They're worth less. It's also just kind of a waste of shards to roll, like let's say gut shards for lucky 3s. But once you have a mythic or legendary fighter, well, I used to recommend only getting legendary fighters to do this, to roll for the Time Lord or Lucky 3, but in the current meta, it's actually probably best for you long term to roll on mythics. Okay, the difference is legendary fighters only require 1 shard to roll per passive reroll, and mythics require 2. But the big difference is that you can limit break a mythic fighter. So in the long run, if you roll Lucky 3 on a bunch of mythics, and then at some point in the future, you limit break them, you can actually go for additional lucky passives. Like this guy right here, he's a lucky 6. This guy right here, lucky 5, lucky 6, lucky 5. You can actually use these fighters in the future and limit break them to go for double lucky limit broken units, and it's extremely valuable in the end game to have those fighters. So I'll leave it up to you to decide which you actually roll for. But if you this is kind of how I would look at it. If you don't have any lucky 3 units and you just need a base luck team to roll for the next time event or the next luck event, roll on legendaries. And you don't go for any luck passives, luck 2, luck 3, even luck 1 if you don't have it. You need a full team of lucky fighters to efficiently open during a time event. It will drastically change how many good rare units you get during a time event. So if you don't have any lucky team, go ahead, use legendary fighters. Roll for luck 1, luck 2, luck 3, anything. Just get a full team of luck units before the next time event. But if you do have a full lucky team and now you're trying to improve it, or you're going for Time Lord, then you want to be rolling on a mythic. So we have our mythic fighter here, and we have a bunch of shards. Your next step is that you want to use an auto clicker. I use OP auto clicker, but you can use any auto clicker that you want. And I would increase, I think by default, the delay is like 100 milliseconds. I would actually increase that, just because the lower the cooldown, the more annoying it is. You're going to hear that repeated click very often. So if we just add like 1 second of delay here, then we don't get a click very often. It's less annoying, in my opinion. That's beneficial. Or you could just turn the sound off if you're going to be doing this and you want to keep your headset or your sound on. So this is basically step 3. So step 1, you get shards. Step 2, you get a mythic or a legendary fighter. Step 3, you're going to sit here and you're going to auto click the shard reroll button. Okay. Now step 4, I will show after we actually hit a mythic passive. But essentially the prompt is going to stop us from auto clicking automatically rolling for passives as soon as we land on a mythic or a secret passive. So it's going to stop us from progressing, but there is a few little important tips that you need to know once you hit that. So we'll just kind of fast forward until we get a mythic passive, and we can talk about it then. Okay, so as you can see, we have rolled solid gold. Now, once we have hit solid gold, you'll notice that the mythical confirmation window comes up, which says, are you sure you want to reroll off of this passive? This confirmation window is triggered anytime that you try and roll off of a mythic or a secret passive. Now, here's the thing. This is a very, very important thing to note, or you're going to be very sad because you're going to waste a lot of shards. If you click yes and you continue to roll off of this, so now if I start the auto clicker again and I start rolling for mythics, the next time I get a mythical passive, it will not prompt the mythical warning until I exit out of the roll window or reselect the fighter. So what I would suggest you do is, once you get a mythic passive, if it's Lucky 3 or Time Lord or whatever you want, great, go ahead and keep it. If it's not, then you're going to click yes to roll off of it. You're going to click one shard roll just to get it off of whatever mythical passive it was. And then you're going to close the passive window, open it up again, and reselect the fighter. This is extremely important, or like I said, you're going to end up continuously rolling and it will not prompt for a mythic passive reroll the second, third, etc. times. I accidentally rolled like 1,000 shards away down the drain, and I don't know, I could have gotten Time Lord, I could have gotten who knows what I actually rolled there, but I don't know because I wasn't actively watching it, and I didn't come back to see my mistake until I came back and all my shards were gone, and I hadn't, didn't have the mythical window prompt. So just keep that in mind. After you hit a mythic passive that you don't want, roll off of that mythic passive and then reselect your fighter, and then you can start your auto click again. Now, while we are waiting for a mythical passive here, I do want to talk to you guys about the odds of getting a mythic passive. So if you add up all of the chances, blessing, solid gold, leader, ghostly, draconic, lucky, ace, etc. If you add up all of these numbers here for mythics and the secrets, you get 1.991% chance, which is basically a 1 in 50 reroll chance of getting a mythical passive. Now that is for any mythical passive, all right? And that is including the passive reroll game pass. So this gives you double the chances of getting a rare passive. So if you don't have the passive reroll game pass, then you're looking at about 1 in 100 rolls of getting a mythic or better passive on average. Now again, that's for any mythic. So that's basically to generate the prompt to re-roll. So you'll have to come back about every 100 rolls or 50 rolls if you have the game pass to restart it again. But if you're specifically looking for lucky 3, well then it is a 0.27% chance with the game pass, or a 0.13% chance, I believe, without the game pass. And so that is approximately a 1 in 370 roll chance of obtaining. So about 370 rolls on average per lucky 3. So again, if you're rolling on mythics, then you just take those number of rolls and you double it to find out your shard chance. So on average, you're going to need approximately 740 shards in a specific, 740 rolls or 740 shards. Excuse me, not 370 rolls or 740 shards to get a lucky 3 passive. Okay. And Time Lord is actually a 1 in 3,700 chance. So you're going to need you're going to need double that, or basically 1 in 7,406 shards on average to get a Time Lord passive. Now, I've rolled at least 12,000 rerolls without a Time Lord passive. So, you know, I've just been unlucky. And that is something just to remind you, again, these aren't pity values. It's not guaranteed that you'll get a mythic passive every 50 or 100 rolls. It's just that's what, if you look at the percentage chances, that's what you're going to roll on average. So there's a lot of downtime in between this, right? Each roll takes quite a while to complete, and then you're going to have to roll 50 to 100 times just to generate the prompt, and then you're going to have to, roll 370 times or 3,700 times to get the lucky 3 or the Time Lord that you're looking for. So this rolling process is something that's good to do while you have something else that you can kind of keep occupied with in the meantime. I like to just watch anime while I'm doing this on my other monitor, so that, you know, I'm just sitting here watching a show. I keep the sound on even though it's a little bit annoying, so that I notice when I'm actually gotten one. But if you wanted, you could turn the sound off, etc., and just do something else. You know, you could also just go eat, you could do whatever, you know, leave it rolling for 30 minutes, come back. You should have hit a mythic passive. And if it's not the one that you want, then just, you know, like I said, roll off it, close the window, reselect the fighter, and just keep going again. Okay. So this is essentially the process for rolling for Time Lord or Lucky. It is very boring. You know, it's not fun. It's not enjoyable, but it is enjoyable to get rare units. And you're not going to get those without a full team of lucky fighters to open with. So make sure that you have your lucky 3 team. Time Lord is actually better in most scenarios than lucky 3. There is a point at which, like during a time event, and if you have multiple Time Lords, at which point there is going to be kind of a break-even point where luck will be more valuable than opens. But keep in mind that Time Lord will also increase your resource drain. So if you have a lot of Time Lord units, even though you're going to be opening more stars, and on average you're going to get more, you know, divines and secrets, you're also going to be increasing how much multi-open tokens and yen you're going to burn through on an hourly basis, or however long you're opening for. So anyways, guys, I'm just going to leave this running, and I will basically come back every time we hit a mythic passive, and we're going to see how long it actually takes us to officially roll our first Time Lord passive. See you then. Okay, so a blessing is actually the most common mythical passive, so you should see it hypothetically more often than, you know, quite a bit more often than the other ones, but it's definitely not one that we want here. So we're going to click yes, reroll, and then reselect. So just so, as I was saying, you know, like blessing is the most common one, so you should see it more than the others. Again, reroll, reselect. You technically don't have to close out of the passive reroll window. You can just reselect like that, but you can't reselect it when it's still on mythic. All right, so there we have it. So we got our first lucky 3 mythic. So we can just basically, this will end up replacing one of the legendary fighters on my lucky team, and then we can just move on to the next unit and just continue the process. So let's keep going until we get Time Lord. All right, so one thing to note about Draconic is that even though you might not be rolling specifically for Draconic, it might be worth saving any mythics you get when you're rolling mythicals, because just like Lucky, eventually you want to have a full team of Draconic units with additional collector supplementary passives. So for example, if we go over here to my vault, my collector team, you can see I have this unit, which is a Draconic. So that's like basically collector 8. Then we have these 2 units, which are like collector, 5, essentially, with the bonus there. And then this one is generous, has the same increase. It's basically 0.4 drops and 0.4 yen. And then we have an additional 0.2 drop here. So you can see how eventually you want these types of units. So when you actually get a mythic with Draconic, it might be worth saving. Like I was saying, if you do get, a solid gold unit or Draconic or anything, then you might want to keep that for another one of your teams. So we'll keep that. I'm also going to equip my luck team, and I'm going to go back to Psychic City and get some more mythics. Yes, dude, I was here. I can't believe I was here for it. Oh my gosh. And I just barely got the solid gold. Okay, so this is crazy. So let's take a look at this. So this yes. Finally. Okay. So we finally got our first Time Lord, and I've been writing down the amounts. So it was just 2 rolls after the solid gold. But yeah, so it took, let me just give you guys kind of an idea of what we were working with here. So we had 4,591 psychic shards to start. It took us 67 rolls to hit solid gold, which, is a little bit above what the expected. So with the game pass, we were expecting to hit a mythic passive every 50 rolls. Okay, took us 67 rolls to hit solid gold. It took us 113 rolls to hit blessing, so that was twice as many rolls as average. But then it only took us another 14 rolls to hit our second blessing. Then it took us 80 rolls to get lucky 3. So if we add these together, let's see. So that's 274 rolls total to hit our first lucky 3. And that's below the expected threshold of 370. So we got lucky on our first lucky 3. Next up, we had 39 more rolls to hit Draconic, so we're under the average. 14 more rolls to hit solid gold, and then only 2 more rolls to hit our first Time Lord, which is absolutely incredible. That means that we only had to do 329 rolls to get this Time Lord. Now, that is not at all typical. And like I was saying earlier, I've already rolled like over 12,000 times, probably over 15,000. I haven't kept track like I'm keeping track right now for this video, but at least 12,000 shards I've spent on Time Lord, or excuse me, 12,000 rolls. So even more than that, because, well, 12,000 rolls because previously I've been rolling on legendaries. I only recently started switching to mythics. But so overall it took us about 15,000 rolls, plus that's not even counting the rolls that we did for our regular fighters throughout that time. So it's probably closer to like 17,000 for our first Time Lord. And on average we should be hitting a Time Lord about every 3,700 rolls. Again, those odds are doubled if you don't have, or I guess they're halved if you don't have the passive reroll game pass. So about 1 in every 74,000, or excuse me, 7,400 rolls approximately. So I'm pretty excited about that. It's awesome. That is, like I said, my first Time Lord that I've ever gotten, so I'm pretty happy about that. And hopefully this helps you guys as well go for lucky 3 teams. Like I was saying, this isn't just for Time Lord, it's for lucky 3. It's to basically future proof us to get limit broken units. So at some point I'm definitely going to limit break this Time Lord and then try to hit Lucky 2 or Lucky 3 on top of it. Like the dream is double Time Lord, but that's very, very unlikely. However, if we could get, Time Lord plus Lucky 3, this would be one of our best units for our opening team. And you can see we already have, the Lucky 6s, Lucky 5, etc. So we definitely want to limit break this as soon as possible to get it on our opening team. But anyways, guys, hopefully this helped you understand how to roll for these rare passives. If you want more information like this, join our Discord server at discord.gg/oTradeMark. And that's it for me, Malo Alpito. Thanks for watching, and peace. I'm out of here.